Monica Labiche Brown, and I am the founder and executive director of Africa Development Promise. The organization was founded in 2014, and that was as a result of my coming back to Uganda, a place where I grew up and lived for 15 years.
The work that we've been doing has been mainly around supporting women's cooperatives. We started with a group called Epaphroditus Women's Cooperative.
The cooperative started in 2012. That's when we decided to gather as women and got this idea of growing mushrooms.
But when they first started, they were a small-scale operation selling mushrooms to church members and the local communities. But they soon recognized that there was a bigger market in and around Kampala. When Africa Development Promise identifies a cooperative, we go through a participatory process to identify what works and what hasn't worked. Using surveys and focus groups, we determined the stage of development. What we discovered with Epaphroditus was that the biggest expense was the mushroom garden.
At the time we deal with mushrooms, we used to buy gardens from other farmers because we didn't know how to make it.
So we partnered with National Agriculture Research Organization to provide training to the women to make the mushroom gardens, so that in this way the women would then have the skills to be able to make the mushroom gardens themselves, and then in harvesting the mushrooms they would then be able to fetch a larger profit for the mushroom.
Now the women had two streams of income. In addition to growing mushrooms for sale, they could also sell the mushroom gardens. With the profits and confidence that they had developed, they were ready to expand their business. With support from Africa Development Promise, we facilitated the construction of a larger, more modern growing facility, and to avoid post-harvest losses, we supported them with the solar dryer. In addition to infrastructure support, Africa Development Promise has trained the group on critical governance, leadership, and business management skills that allow them to successfully operate a viable business. As the cooperative becomes stronger, they have attracted and recruited an additional 10 members, thus better able to leverage their influence with the local community and public officials. In fact, Epaphroditus is proud that they have 2 members who ran for and were elected in the 2018 elections as the women representatives on the local council for their respective villages. Success builds success. The women have now branched out into piggery, and they want to make sure that every member has a minimum of 2 pigs. Also, most recently, they have taken classes on how to attractively package, seal, and label their products so that they can sell easily. The next phase is to start an outgrower scheme, also known as contract farming. The cooperative will recruit about 50 community women as contracted mushroom growers. This will allow the cooperative to boost its mushroom production, while also allowing the outgrowers the opportunity to gain a sustained income. The outgrowers will be trained and given the tools needed to grow quality mushrooms. By including some of the village's poorest women, the cooperative will facilitate dramatic economic improvements, and the hope is that the increased income to outgrowers will encourage them to become cooperative members and enjoy its benefits, or possibly form their own cooperative. These women are mainly doing subsistence farming and don't have a means of income. With things moving to a market-based approach, it is important that women also be able to participate in this new economy and have their fair share of what they can make.
We are very much appreciative to ADP just because they have brought us all that far, from making losses to having bigger profits.